Alright, I'm gonna be straight with you. This video is going to be very long, and there's a lot of information I need to cover. I'm gonna try to make it as dense as possible and move as quickly as possible through it. The title of this video is not clickbait at all. There is a ton of new content, tons of free stuff for logging in, new class, new season server, and a roadmap for 2021 all released in the last day here, and I'm gonna try to push through it. Quickly before we get into it though, if you're new to the channel, new to Black Desert, or you've been watching the videos on the channel, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. I've got a ton of videos, ton of guides, and I keep you up to date with all this amazing information like this. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it with the first thing that I clickbaited you on that's not really clickbait. We have a new class coming on December 22nd. It is a Tower Shield wielding mace user. So the video clip you're seeing right here is under fair use and commentary, blah, 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 blah. Please don't sue me, Pyrobiz / Cacao / whoever's in charge of you anymore, as you'll see right now. So Tower class, big AoEs, big mace, looks pretty darn fun, not going to lie. Looking forward to this one. So yeah. Link to this full trailer is in the description below. You can do that and check it out on your own time. It's pretty much those same skills over and over again though. Run in, dash, hit with hammer, smash, blow up stuff, ice, magic. Alright, so we have a pre-creation event for this beginning on December 16th. And the second tab right here is just a little backstory lore bit, so I'm going to skip over this as well. But the actual pre-creation event going on will start on December 16th. And then there are launch events as well. So this new class is called Nova. The new pre-launch events will begin on December 13th. And you can see all of the amazing items you're going to get for logging in. So first off, we got Kaffir Stones, White Horse, Tier 7. If you're a newer player and don't have a horse, you're going to get a horse here in like 2 days. So definitely something to pick up there. Then on the 17th, you are going to get a whole bunch of items as well. So a 16 inventory expansion coupon. This is pretty nutty. That's a $15 item just for logging into the game. You're going to get a pet, Shikatu's boxes, and a transaction made, which is also another $10 item. So $25 worth of free crap just for logging in on December 17th. So make sure to log in at that period. And then on December 22nd, the release date for the class, you're going to get a tiara, an earring, as well as some underwear for the new class. So like another $10 worth of stuff. All in all, amazing items just for logging in during this period here. The second event that released today, because I'm putting this video out as soon as it is done, is in the Black Spirits items here. So if you go ahead and talk to your Black Spirit under the quest tab, event quest section, you're going to see the invitation from S, the Cold Dark Star right here. So if you play through the story up until the Calpheon point, you will see this quest right here. Go ahead and accept it. And it will help to give you some lore behind the new class. There's also a second event going on, which if you remember that stupid little egg that we got in our inventory a while ago, this winter-bearing egg, if you watched my previous video, you'll be able to get a Tier 4 pet, free Tier 4 pet. So to do this, you need to redeem a code. The code you need to redeem is located right here. It's BDO Iced. If you bought the game through the client, through the actual website, you're going to need to go to this website right here, log in, and type in that code BDO Iced. BDO Iced. If you are on Steam version of the game, you're going to press the escape key, navigate to the community tab, which is behind my webcam right now, and click on the redeem button. This will dox me. Now, if you open up your mail by clicking on the mail icon in the corner or pressing the B key on the keyboard, you will see the Calpheon burning whatever flame thing right here. Go ahead and receive that into your inventory. And if you haven't already received the egg, it is sitting right here, so go ahead and claim that egg as well. Once both of these items are in your inventory, uncheck the auto arrange button and line these two suckers up in a line. So right here, you can see them in my inventory lined up in a line. I got the egg as well as this burning thing. Click the little plus button. Boom, Tier 4 Dragon Pet. And with that, we're through all of the easy information. Now we get into the fun part. Levi trying to summarize a 3-hour live stream. So everybody that owns Black Desert is getting a free copy of the Black Spirits Adventure board game. As you can see, it's really, really fun, and I'm totally breaking them on you. You ain't getting any of this crap. But your boy did create a little patch notes section here, or summary of the live streamer that gave us the information for the 2021 roadmap of Black Desert. So this is the next thing we're going to cover is the 2021 roadmap for Black Desert. This will be linked in the description below as well. It has the timestamps relative to this live stream right here, showing you all of the new information that's being added into the game. But we are just going to plug through my little notes here that I wrote, and if you want to see the actual bit where they're talking about it, it's just a guy on stage talking in the microphone with some pictures in the background showing you, like, I don't even know what. But if you do want to listen to them talking about it themselves, you can read it there. But anyway, first up is Server Wars. So this was at the 41-minute timestamp is where they started talking about this. Basically, summary here is that guilds are going to fight with other guilds on different servers and try to invade each other and gain control of a relic. This will happen every once so often. The times that were listed there was like a month, I believe was the time that was listed in there. In order for this to work, guilds are going to need to pick a server. Your guild will play on that server, and you can move freely between any of the channels on the server whenever you want. So there's no longer a 15-minute penalty if your guild assigns itself a server. But you will be locked into that server and you won't be able to jump to other ones, so trade-off there. So to prevent higher level guilds from just going in and messing up smaller level guilds on other servers, there's going to be a system that prevents you from being matched up with guilds that are way stronger than you. But that's basically the gist of this little system. So it's a guild versus guild system based on servers, and the whole server fights against other guilds. It's actually kind of an interesting concept. I'm not a huge PvP fan, so I'm not really excited for it, but it's definitely an interesting take on it. Server wars, basically, is what we got going on. Another feature being added is a sheriff system, so if you want to, you can call for someone stronger to come and save you, just in the general world. So that was another bit that was included in the Server Wars description. Next thing is actually probably the coolest thing of this whole thing, and I'm a PvE player, and there are dungeons that are added into it somewhere down here. I wrote it down. But this is probably the coolest thing for anybody that actually plays Black Desert. It is a 10 versus 10 crew system. So this 10 versus 10 crew system is going to be 10 player versus 10 player PvP. It is going to be region based, and they're going to add a Champions League system, aka they're going to make this an esport. So you'll be able to play Black Desert esports, or their attempt at making an esport system. It sounds really cool. There's a lot of information in it. You can see that it's 45, 55, so 46 to 49. 3 minutes going over this. There's going to be a ranking system. It sounded really, really cool. It honestly sounded too good to be true. That being said, I suck at PvP and I can't PvP, so RIP me, but hey, it definitely sounds like a really cool system for those of you that are interested in PvP. Get 9 of your friends together, make a ranked team, and have at it. The next thing that was talked about was Kaffir Stones. They're going to add them as a PvP reward. They showed some graph on the screen about how Kaffir Stones are hard to find and blah, 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 blah. The new season starts on December 22nd, which makes sense because the new class releases on December 22nd, go figure. Honestly, it's kind of insane that they turned around a new class in 3 months. I'm really, really surprised, and I honestly think it was worth waiting because the new class looks pretty sick. They're going to have more information soon on the new server, but hey, just to have a date right now is pretty darn cool. Also, they had a little interesting infographic point there that the average player gear level in Black Desert has doubled since the introduction of season servers, which is pretty good for the quality of the game. A lot more people are able to get into it and enjoy it, so that's a really nice fact to hear. Next up, we have a Black Star raid that's being added at some point coming up in the future. It will drop Black Star upgrade mats. Raid is a translation thing, I'm assuming, from the English versions, the English-speaking versions of basically just world bosses. So it's not really a raid, it's a world boss that you experience out here. It'll be located up here in Star's End. This random NPC in Velia thing I'm going to skip because I don't really understand it and it didn't make any sense to me because it's an event that was never even on the NA version of the game. There's a new region coming to Black Desert, which we probably all knew about. It is going to be the Mountain of Eternal Winter. This is the Guardian home. It's the Snowland. It's going to have 2 new grinding zones. They're called hunting zones, translation thing I'm guessing. 2 new grinding areas for you to go and farm mobs. One looked like Yeti people and one are like pill bugs. There's also going to be the hypothermia debuff. You're going to need to set up a tent, pitch a fire if you get stuck in a snowstorm. The Guardian will be immune to this, and the Shy can buff allies through this. So if you're traveling with a Shy, you can also get through this info. There's going to be another world boss. It's the Golden Dragon is what it's called. And this is releasing next winter. So we do have a little bit until this comes out. Then they talked about the free tier 4 Dragon Pet. We already covered that. I guess I did it out of order as to when I thought I was going to do it because I said later. But anyway, yeah, we already covered that free tier 4 Dragon Pet. There is a new grinding area that's being added, and this is also a really, really cool change. It's going to be something really cool anyway. This is a solo area, and the longer that you are in there, the monsters will get stronger. So the more mobs that you kill, the mobs will get stronger. You can leave whenever you want, but if you die, you're kicked out and you lose half of the loot that you obtained. So it's definitely a risk versus reward scenario. If you're in there grinding and then like a random boss thing spawns or comes out to hunt you down and you aren't able to kill it and it kills you, yeah, it's definitely like a hardcore grinding system, and it sounds pretty darn cool as well. Definitely gives PvE players something to try to strive for how long they could survive in the new grinding area. The other thing is when you get kicked out, whether you leave or whether you get killed and kicked out, there's going to be a 2-week to 1-month time span before you can re-enter the area. So definitely a high-risk, high-reward scenario going on there. Next up being added are mansions, so you can get a big house. By investing enough contribution into a city, you'll gain some land, you can build a mansion, you can decorate the outside with gardens, trees, you can decorate the inside with furnitures. They also mentioned stuff about a thief system where you can send people to steal stuff from other people's mansions. They're still spitballing ideas was the expression there, but still sounds like something cool. You'll be able to decorate a mansion instead of tiny little houses inside of villages. Next up is the big information for PvE players, I guess besides this new hardcore hunting ground, but that is a dungeon. So there is a PvE dungeon being added into this game. But it's a really interesting take, and I'm kind of curious to see how it's going to work. So here's the deal with it. It's an open world area. You can meet other people inside of it working through various aspects of the dungeon. The first thing I'm curious about is whether they're going to disable PvP inside of it, because they didn't say it, but you will be able to run into other adventurers inside of this dungeon. That being said, you're going to need to cooperate with adventurers in order to make it through each of the different periods or points within the dungeon. So you'll need between 3 and 5 players, and you'll need 3 to 5 players of different classes with the abilities to have certain gimmicks, is what they called it. But these different classes and abilities will allow you to make it through the different stages of the dungeon. They also said it was going to be a lengthy adventure, that you're going to need to spend a lot of time in there to get through the whole thing, so also something pretty darn cool. Seems more like a raid rather than a dungeon. There's not going to be traditional roles in there of like tank, DPS, healer. You will be able to do it with whatever class you have. Just some classes will have different gimmicks that'll be able to get through different points. And they're also going to add roles within the dungeons for lower geared players, so your friend Timmy can come along and just be the shy that sits there and buffs you all while you continue to play through it. There's also going to be no dungeon exclusive loot, so if you are not interested in doing that and you just want to grind outside, you'll be able to get the grinding items, the same items as you would inside of the dungeon, which I guess is interesting as well. It's pretty good for players to be able to get the gear in multiple ways. The final bit of information that was mentioned was the new Port Rat area. So the Port Rat area is going to get a new continent, entirely new continent added to it. It's going to be based on the final dynasty of Korea, and you'll learn about the Musa, Mewa, and Lan stories. This is going to be released within the next 2 years, so this is still a long ways out. And that's it as far as notes from this. So there was a 20-some-odd minute spell in there where you got a bunch of information on what's coming in 2021. This, once again, is linked in the description below. It's got the timestamps to each of the spots in this live stream, which is also linked below. So if you want more information on any of these different topics here, please check that out. Next up, we have the Calpheon Ball summary. So this page has a bunch of summary information regarding the Calpheon Ball. The first one is that there were several codes shared as well throughout this. So just like we showed you to get the BDO iced, got to go ahead and redeem these things as well. Now, of these items, the coolest one is this Jay's Hammer of Loyalty. This sucker is basically like a free set of crown stones for any item above try. I'd recommend using it for a Tet upgrade, but definitely something pretty darn cool. It's basically a crown stone for whatever item you're trying to upgrade, or a crown stone set. Also, starting next week, there are going to be a ton of free items just sent to your inbox. 300 Kaffir Stones, 1,000 crown stones, and if you're on the console version of the game, I know that I don't really bring this stuff out. You don't have Kaffir Stones in your game yet, so you're going to be getting crown stones. And then a ton of Black Spirit's Adventure rewards that you can see right here. Combat, Crown Stones, Vice Valves, J Special Scrolls, just tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of stuff. And then starting on December 16th, running for 2 weeks, you're going to get an EXP buff of 300% combat EXP and skill XP plus 50%. This actually means it is an amazing time to AFK level a character. And that's it for the Calpheon Ball news. Now we have the transfer of service information. So this is where it's going to get real serious real quick, folks. As of February 24th of 2021, Kakao Games will cease service and will become the responsibility of the developers Pearl Abyss. Basically, the NAU version is going from Kakao to Pearl Abyss. The biggest thing is that you're going to need to opt into the data transfer. So if you want your account to transfer, you're going to have to opt into data transfer. This is going to begin on January 27th. When this does go live, I will be sure to put information about this like multiple times on multiple videos, like every single week, because you really need to make sure to do this if you want to continue playing. But there will be more information to come soon, and once again, I will be sure to inform you when there's more information. That being said, there is a big FAQ section here, which doesn't really provide you much more information than, yeah, it's all going to transfer. Yep, you will transfer it. Yeah, transfer it. Yeah, that'll transfer. Yeah, transfer it. But there's no actual information on the actual transfer process. The one big thing I do want to point out, though, is that if you are on Steam or the client version, you have to do this system. It doesn't just automatically happen. It doesn't apply to one or the other. Both versions of the game are going to have to do it. There's also a special page dedicated entirely to this system that only just links you back to the same page that we just saw here. So no extra information yet, but this information will probably be populated on this website as it becomes available. But honestly, of all things, this is probably the biggest thing that you need to keep an eye out for in the next 2 months here. And once again, I will inform you, so make sure you're subscribed here so you stay up to date when new information like this does come out. And anyway, guys, it's a perfect segue. So we covered a lot of information. This video is 24 minutes long of recording. Hopefully when I edit it down, it gets a lot shorter. But like I said, there's a ton of information. I tried to keep it as densely packed as possible and move you from point to point to point. If this video is going to help you here in Black Desert, give you some exciting stuff to look forward to, let me know in the comment section. Let me know what you're most excited about. And as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you at the next live stream over on Twitch, the next YouTube video, or wherever I happen to see you. Peace.